Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy P Farm. Thinking right out here in my lab, in the book. Ooh, I got a nice lesson for you today. Doing what I do. Just gonna break down the mysticism of the color green. Ought to be fun. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Excuse me. Right is the 25 will live by. Excuse me. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. Yeah, that's what I do. But if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. Got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken up on the spiritual alarm clock here too. Wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my yacht be true. The mysticism of the color green, right thinkers, that's what we're going to talk about. Now, this is the hieroglyphics of it. This is what it looks like. I know this represents the color green. Okay. We know this is the netter, and right here is the netter. We know that's the male part of the right, part of the body. Okay, you got the all-seeing eye consciousness. That's netter. That's God. That's Hotep. So let's see what this is all about. But it breaks down the mysticism of the color green. We got new technology, we call it, but this is how they saw it back then. All right. What I just showed you was Hotep Da Sa Netta Ara Metu Waj. What the hell? Relax. Trilateral. I'm gonna give it to you. Metadrenata. Break it down the way they spoke it, and then break it down to where we can decipher and understand it. And every now and then, like I say, sometimes we lose it in translation. So that's what I'm going to show you to you. If you was a Metadrenata reader, then you'd be excited. As I'm going, I'm starting to read. I refuse to spend that much time learning this, so that was just my personal thing. I wish I had it sometime, but it's okay. It says, I know that there's Hobar Hotep, that's peace. Offering, that's the diagram. Giving, that's the loop there. To what? To cause the divine, that's the flag, the netter. To what? To make the vascular system green and healthy. That's the inner workings of the body. This is the fatty part. It's up inside us. That's the vascular system, nervous system. That's what the Commissions understood was this. Now, in the Commission, spirituality, the divinity of Saw is often represented with a green hue. Oh, he's a lizard man. He's a reptilian. No, vegetation. Watch this. Watch this. And it's amazing how people can just make something out of what they believe or might want it to be and be wrong and swear they got something. Religion. Excuse me. But again, he was represented with the green hue. Why? In the picture above, this ain't on here, but they had a picture of him laying out in earth with grass and green growing up out of him. The picture shows what coming from the temple of Aset in Egypt. It shows us the reason why. Because wheat which represents all vegetation in creation, is seen growing out of the dead body of a soul. So he's the essence of what? Life. Remember, he's the first physical concept with the spirit as if turned to matter from the elements. He's spirit in human form. So life exudes from him. What's this? And in the Asarian resurrection myth, again, Asar was killed by his brother, which is represented by your ego. Your soul got killed by your ego, torn to pieces. And okay, why? Jealousy, that's the qualities of the ego. And if you ran by that, ding, 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 that's what I'm trying to show you. All right, by his brother. And he was resurrected who? By his wife, his sister, Aset. She's a bad mama jama. She can bring you from the dead. She can raise the dead, actually, because she did it for her husband for the purpose of what? Getting pregnant. Her offspring, the spirit that's us, represents her root, the spirit that's in us. That's the story. But Asar was killed by her brother, resurrected by his wife. I said, now, why his spirit resurrected? Again, the spirit, not him physically, the spirit which resurrects and became the Lord of the beautiful, what they call the West. That's where we die. We're born in the East, you die in the West. Okay, but you only get to the West if you pass what the judgment scales of Maya, symbolically. But his body had become the sustaining essence, which causes vegetation to grow. Hence, that's what he's showing you the growth out of his dead body. He, in essence, the spirit that became matter, is the same sustenance, as, as, or the flow of life force essence. He was the originator, according to this myth, okay, in which causes vegetation to grow and sustains human existence. Now, I done heard the Christian got the concept, you find me under a rock, you find me in there, yeah, 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 yeah. Everybody got a concept, and I ain't got a problem with that, okay? But understanding it and manifesting is two different things. So representing the green concept, Asar, the spirit that came from God into physical form, is green. Why? Because he is the essence of life. In the vegetation, vegetables we eat. Okay? Asar, excuse me. If we learn to what? Eat the right green diets for our bodies, sustenance to grow, because we all know what the hell this backspot of my glasses, but we all know that we don't eat healthy. We all understand that. I got this coming out for you. But then they didn't have no choices. They did that, and their favorite food, a choice was lettuce, fruits, and seeds, plants. Okay? And that's the essence of life for our bodies, minds, and souls. We are eating Asar himself, the essence, okay? And they say, and thereby you become what? Divine beings ourselves with the food that we ingest. And it is the saying, you are what you eat. The Muslims, for that, they can eat everything but pork, and that makes them important. And not eating pork don't qualify you for being pure. But that's the concept. But we know now, well known now, everybody, you are what you eat. Okay, pretty much. If your diet is not healthy, you'll be the first to know. Well, your body tell you. So this is original. This is the original right there. The original teachings of what we call divine food, which is the food for sustenance and knowledge and understanding, which was later represented, you ready? In the Christian concept as the what? The Eucharist, eating of the body and the drinking of the blood of Christ. I'm gonna leave it there. But you must know that everything you eat can be a Eucharist. Why? It leading you to health, vitality, and hopefully spiritual enlightenment. Eating the right foods. That's why the people who are vegan eat healthy nutrition. They healthy than the average person. Why? Their body is showing you they putting good stuff in. They getting good results. I go to the gym every day, try to keep the body physically fit. I eat pretty much what I like, and to a degree, again, balance. I know what's right and what's wrong. So again, I live my life on my terms. Everybody got the same opportunity. Why? Because you got to pay the price one way or another. If the decision you make for yourself, it'll be rewarded. If it's a bad decision, you'll suffer. That's it. It ain't no hope. No, no, no. That's it. Moving on. Now down here show you SWAD, SWADJ, That means to become green. Green would consider flourish and thriving. That means good health, long life. But nature grows and grows, but it's always what? Coming back. Always comes back. Okay? That's the concept of the spirit. And in the mystical mystical sense, Asar is the very sustenance of life. That's what he represents. And we're the offspring him, so hence he's our father. Mason's Asar is your father. Okay. All food that is eaten is therefore Asar also. If it's good, it's Asar. This idea is also what expressed in the benediction of the ancient Egyptian doctors, who, upon administering medicaments, would what? Speak or go into prayer special words of power, which was Heka. And know what they would say? May your metu flourish. The commission term for flourish is greening, health. So, in order to become healthy, one is to become green, what, like a saw? We give you every aspect, every concept to point you into be your best self, become some who you supposed to be. Asar, knowing thyself. Thus, Asar is the sustenance of the what? The duat, the astral plane, as well as the ta, which is the physical earth realm. He's inside you. He's the one that started this thing. And when you get done here, you go with him. They had the whole concept, and this is theirs. So everybody got a God concept. Okay? This theme is present in every aspect of ancient cultures and all others, even in modern times. Why? Most people do not want to think about, oh, this is the beautiful part. Y'all thought they just was concerned with death. Oh, they worry about death. No, we were consumed with the afterlife because death is just beginning of the afterlife. But there's a caveat. You only get to the afterlife if you live right in this life. That's what we're gonna break down for you right here. I like this concept. I got time. Yeah, this is perfect. This theme is present in every aspect. Watch this. Now, especially about death. We all know we're going to die physically. Everybody. We know that. No exception. Dr. Clark, no exception. But why do we fear what's going to happen inevitable? You can't, the body ain't built to do that. But when you become conscious that you're more than the body, now you become enlightened to what? The truth about death. They knew they wanted to get to that what? Eternity, forever. The spirit, that's what it does. It don't die. Humans do. And ignorant people do. Moving on. Not me and you. Wow. We know who we are. So when we die, home gone. All right, let's go. Let me get this breakdown for you. I hope you understand the concept. But now, this in modern times, most people do not want to think about what death, especially when they are having what a good time here. If I got millions of billions of dollars, I ain't trying to die. But age takes care of that. Man, don't. And this would have been considered a what? Turning away from the truth. Why? A breach of one of the fundamental injunctions of what? The Maya philosophy, precept number 24, I think it is. I have not stopped my ears from listening to the words of right and wrong. I tell you every day, I'm a master of my philosophy and myself, but I'm still growing what as a human being to be my best self. So I'm always listening to hear what some more truth, some more knowledge, some more understanding that can make me a better person. That's why I don't think I know everything. So I ain't gonna listen to nobody. That's what they said right there. So thus, when the subject of death is broached, one should not turn away and act as if it does not exist or try to have a good time and not think about it. That's denial, okay? Mental attitude. That's wrong attitude. And so now to substitute dying, what they do, drugs, get involved in worldly entanglements and try to extend their life and all this nonsense and other distractions that may soften what the blow of death. You're gonna die whether you're rich or poor, okay? But in the short term, but someday the issue will have to be dealt with through the death, through what? Either the death of a close family member Dad, brothers, members of one very throat, members of the family, and even your very self. If you're not ready, the death experience will be a harrowing, painful thing. I watched my old man go through that and I said, no way. But remember, that's brought on by how what you live. My grandfather, not him, but my mother's father, he was smooth. I remember talking to him on his deathbed. Last time I saw him, that's me cast it. So he was down that road. He was just a acoustic grandson listening to your mother. Okay. He was cool. He wasn't freaking out. Man, two different things. So I got my own experience. I ain't got to tell you about what I heard. I ain't got to tell you about what I read. No, I got my own personal experience. That's the difference in right thing philosophy. I ain't got to give you a bunch of nonsense. I can tell you the truth. Why? I got my own. He went out hard. He kicked the screen. Okay, but and but here we get the caveat to that. But if you're ready, if you live the good life, it can be as what smooth as silk. That's why people who not listen every day they wake up, they happy because that one day they don't, they still gonna be happy. Are you that person? If you scared of death, you need to do some work. Why? It's going to happen. Simple as that. Anything you doing that against your good health and good judgment and a good thing for you is what death by installments. You shorten your lifespan, okay? And depending on the things you did, would tell. Simple as that. Ain't no getting around it. John Clark, no exceptions. But this is the prospect that initiates of the mystical sciences look forward to and to discover for themselves. Like they couldn't wait to die. No, they just were preparing for what? The inevitable by doing something about it, not jibber jabbing about it, being about it. That's the difference. But that's what you're gonna be judged by the contents of your heart, not how much money you got. No, that means nothing. I always ask anybody, what kind of person are they? Back then, I don't give a damn what kind of person you was. Now, what kind of person are they? What kind of character they are? See, that's the difference, and it works. Why? If you become that person, then you can show other people, hey, this is what I do. I don't know what you're doing, but this is what I do. Moving on, and facing death for them and uncovering what its mystery is the most important task for every spiritual aspirant. That's why everybody think they was to know they was preparing for it. Why they know it's coming. He going. Like my man said in the boxing ring, you give me your 1-3. He said, well, what about the 2? Oh, you'll be getting that. So yeah, you're gonna take some shots. Okay? One of them you ain't gonna be able to get up from. That's all. But this is because the fear of death. Remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. We know that death of the body is real. We know that. Okay, that's the physical part. But the fear, death, and the sorrow caused by diseases, old age, and death, it typify what? The pain and misery and frustrations of life unwell lived and ignorance. Therefore, conquering death means what? Conquering life. When you get knowledge of self, when you know who you are, you no longer fear death. Death is the last thing on your mind. That's the beauty part about conquering life, knowing thyself. And the goal of health practices is to allow the soul to have a what useful body throughout its lifetime. The body have expiration date. A body that is not obstructed by disease and suffering. Okay, a body in motion stays in motion. I'm at the gym with 80-something-year-old people. I'm 67. I'm looking 20 years. I want to be one of them guys. Okay, yeah. And watch this. Your body should be healthy if maintained, even up to the time of death. The physical body ain't got to be the cause of death. The body can still be in good shape. Okay? And watch this. For death is not determined by either health or illness of the body. Understand that? Watch this. But by the karmic necessity of the individual, they claim we all got our karma. Okay, we all do, but there's nothing that neither here nor there with me. But it is one's own, your soul, who makes what? The determination of when and how one will die. This is why death sometimes seems what? Seamless. Being in a plane crash, but the people, it's 250 people in that plane. But because one of them was your loved one is so important. No, it ain't. Don't mean nothing to nobody but you. People die every day. By the truckloads. Death only scares people up when it comes to the doorstep. And we all gonna die, so being scared, that don't mean that don't work. Again, that's ignorant. But again, where we at? Oh yeah. But now when all healing attempts have been made, what happens? You go in hospice. When the body can no longer be kept maintenance, send him home. Why? He's dying. She's dying. They need to be home. They don't figure that part out. So, and they got that thing down to science. Why? Now we use science to predict things. That's how you know. Remember, consciousness spelled with the science is what been proven. When all healing attempts have been made, and despite those efforts, health deteriorates beyond any further action. Now it is time to what? Help the dying person to understand and be able to mentally and emotionally accept what is happening to them. But again, my best friend on his deathbed, this is a true story. Swear to God, we had him dressed up, trying to get him to his birthday. This was Saturday. His birthday was the next day. We had them all prepped up. Everybody came by. I said, oh no, about 3 in the afternoon, 2:30, 3 o'clock. I walked by. He said, Mom. He looked at Batman, looked down at him. He said, I'm dying. I said, yeah, we all are. Okay. I was freaking out because obviously he come to the realization it didn't actually hit him. And at 9:30 at night, he passed on. For real. So our relationship started back then. We was kids, 17 years old, met in college. Our phase was we down like 4 flat tires and till the wheels fall off. I did my job. When the wheels fall off, I was there. Get out of there, get out of there. Okay, but that's another story. But again, death. Death comes to all of us. Though all that, no. I had to experience that for myself. And even looking forward to it sometimes. Why? If your health is so bad, because my old dude, 99 years old, he said, are you ready to go home? I understood what that meant. Okay, all right, Poppy, I got you. So I can't feel bad when he go on. Why? He's happy. He feel better going somewhere else than being here. Why? He's 99 years here. He ready to get out of here. Conceptually, but that's reality. And if his spirit gonna come back to the body, he don't want that body. The spirit going on either get another fresh body, baby, fresh start, or it's going home. That's between him and his maker. And this process is what is made easier for those who have led a righteous life compared to those who didn't. And because their conscience, and it's spelled, here we go, CONSCIENCE, can be clear, devoid of what? Regrets, fears, discontent, and anger, which will all ignorant people carry with them to death. That's why they feel the judgment of Maya. All those things that weigh your heart down, all those things that you carry around like luggage, it's a burden. Free yourself of all that nonsense before it's too late. Why? After death is too late. You can't make no changes there. They said those who live a righteous life and those who don't gonna have these issues, and these issues that you need to be working on if you pay attention. Watch this. Now, while hope should be kept alive, okay, the truth should be more openly discussed in this way. Why? Because the higher purpose of health is also served, for death means that a new body will what? Will be acquired if the spirit didn't get enlightened. And that's the opportunity to what? Apply the life lesson that you didn't learn while you this go around, for this will once again be what? Available to that person. That's called being reincarnated. That the last thing the Egyptian wanted. That's to them was death. See the difference. Why? The consciousness is done. You wiped out the memory. Okay? You ain't gonna make the list of what? Conscious people. going to the next level. And when a society becomes so out of touch that we can put a criminal in the presidency and think something good going to happen with the spiritual reality, its fears, death, and dread is coming true. Right now, war, famine, nobody's happy with what's going on right now. I wonder why. Then what happens? That society then reaches, then it searches for ways to what? Extend life. Everybody wants the fountain of youth. Everybody wants to stay young. Everybody wants pills to keep the erection for hours. That's all perverted pleasures of the flesh. Gay this, trans that. What the hell? That's all psychological misconcepts that y'all allow and don't address it for what it is, psychological problems. But even after the soul has what? Left the body. Okay? This misguided idea right there forces many people to what? Suffer unnecessarily. Why? Because hanging on by the machines right there. Don't resuscitate. I'm gonna do it in the arm. Man, no. If I'm done, let me go. Don't have no machine pumping me up. And they tell you right there, don't be machines which sustain the pain racked body with a little more than a useless husk. If I'm dying, leave me be. I'm dying. Let it go. Oh, you want? Don't do that. Some people do it for the check. He can't die to have the check clear. Moving on. That's another nonsense. But this is very degrading to what? To the soul. Uh, But yet it is in line with what? The karmic basis of those who perpetuate it and those who most suffer through it as the aspirants, or excuse me, as the patients. Don't keep nobody around for your personals. That's don't do them no good. That's what I'm saying. Let me wrap this up. Oh Lord, sorry about that. But since in a view of the commission sages, the one and only purpose of life. What? Since in the view of the commission sages, the one and only purpose of life is to what? Attain enlightenment. Ding 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 ding. Then it makes sense. What? That every aspect of one's life should be tied into what? This purpose. Even one's diet for your physical body. And this was expressed throughout the Commission wisdom teachings, iconograph, and mythology. It is also expressed in the iconograph depicted on the back cover of this book, in which you got the physical body of a Asar in incarnation of the divine, laying in a coffin and wheat growing out of his body. Let me say the back page. Where we at? Where we at? Where you said that one? I'm gonna check into that. All right, we'll wrap this up for you right quick. But that's to show the wheat going out of his body. And since, watch this, the purpose of life was to become, you ready? Divine. Becoming one with the divine self in the form of a Asar was seen as the goal of life in the Asarian tradition and Kemet. Every other group of people had their gods and their concept, but they all wanted to do the same thing to get you to him. Asar was often depicted as green, so the spiritual meditation related to diet and eating vegetarian foods, is that one is as one eats green, one becomes Asar-like. Favorite me, I like lettuce. I don't mind vegetables, but I prefer lettuce, okay? And a divine being, becoming like God, okay, in every aspect. Becoming a starlight, aka God, that is becoming, you ready? Spiritually enlightened. Your personality was seen as the state of ultimate health, but he's dead. It's all mental. This concept of green diet and its relationship to health and attaining unity with the divine is further expressed in the following verse that was chanted in the Kemet in ancient times by the healers. That's going to be the lesson why I ain't got the rest of that Haria. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I didn't want to go that far, that long, but I hope I got my point across. Now you know the concept of the mystic But Green, he took a long way to get to that one. Hope you enjoyed it. And closing right thinkers, may y'all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I know that my right thinkers have passed away. Understanding what green signifies. I'll be right back.